And so now in this video we will start learning about variables. So we will start from the top. Here we have the first topic, which will be our variables. Now here I'm just gonna switch to a new tab. Here it is the same thing. Here we have a new playground, and as I said, if you have clicked on the link, you should be able to see the exact same screen that I'm seeing right now. So we have 3 questions that we need to answer before we explain any topic that you will see. First of all, we need to understand what are variables, why we are using variables, last, how we are going to use variables. So if you ask yourself these 3 questions about any topic, then believe me or trust me, you will master it. Okay, so what are variables? Variables essentially are a data containers. We are using variables to store data. Okay, so they are like boxes. Okay, we are storing something inside them. So this answers the first question. Variables are just a data containers. Why we are using variables? Essentially, we are using variables to contain or store some data that is going to be processed or used later on. Last but not least, how we are going to use variables? Very easily, we are going to use it like this. This is the rule that we are going to use. Essentially, we have the keyword var, then followed by any name that we are going to choose. We have the equal sign right here, and last we have the value that we want to assign. As I said, it is the data container, so we are going to store some data inside them. So once again, we have the var keyword, the name that we are going to use, equal sign, the value that we want to get or store it. And let's see that in action. So here I am just gonna type the var keyword, give it any name like first name, like so. I'm gonna assign it to, now the value depend on the data type. For example, if you are planning to store text, then we are gonna use the value of type string, because string, it is the type of text. Okay, if you are planning to store numbers, then we are going to use some different data type. So essentially, the data type describe what is the type of the value they want to store. For example, here we have the first name. The first name should be text. I don't think so that there is someone with a name of number. Okay, so text presented to use, or we can use text to present any name. So in order for us to add a name or a text, we can use the double quotations like so. We can play, or we can add any text that we want right here. For example, how about Rob Smith? This is a name, right, for a human. So we can use a string with the double quotation to store any type of text. Now once again, we are going to use variable. Let's say last name, it is equal to a double equal, then between of these we can use our text that we want to show it, right? So once again, this is really easy. So this is how you can create variables. Now of course, I said that we have different types of values that I want to store. For example, I want to store some numbers, so I can type var, then let's call it age. It's equal to, let's say, this number right here. So as you can see, with numbers, I do not want, or I do not need to add double quotes, because that's how it's work in programming. If you want to add a text, then you can use the double quotes right here. Okay, if you want to use numbers, then you can just include the number right here. Very easy. How about the types of numbers, like the decimal numbers, like for example var, let's call it how about speed. Okay, speed like this. I'm gonna specify to be 3.4, for example. This is not a number. This is not a normal number. This is a decimal, or what we are referring to as a float or a double. So as you can see, I am storing different types of data. We have text, we have numbers, we have decimal numbers, we have booleans, and do not confuse yourself with this. The only lesson, or the only goal behind this lesson, is to teach you how to create variables, how to store data. Now I have this name right here, Rob Smith, being stored in a variable called first name. Okay, we have another variable with the value of my name being stored in a variable called last name. These variables are stored in the memory. Make sense? So we can use them later on, as we will show you later on. Make sense? So in order for us to create a variable, we need to use the var keyword followed by any name. This can be literally any name that you want. Okay? Then the equal sign and the value depending on the data type of your value, whether it be a text, number, integer, or decimal, or all these kind of data types that we are going to show you later on. Hopefully that makes sense. Go ahead, I want you to practice and create variables as much as you can, because later on we are going to create maybe hundreds of variables inside our applications. Hopefully that makes sense. See you in the next one.